Hello faithful viewers, and welcome back to another Transformers review. This time we're looking at the Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Topspin. Now Topspin, like Roadbuster and Leadfoot, turns into a NASCAR, and according to TF Wiki, this is a number 48 Sprint Cup car. What the difference is exactly, I don't know. I don't know what the Sprint Cup is, if it's like a NASCAR racing event or something. But here's Topspin. He is primarily blue, and unlike Roadbuster, whose review that you can check out in the top corner, he is covered in armour plating and weapons. He is more accurate to how he looked in the movie compared to Roadbuster. There is a Dark of the Moon Leadfoot figure which does follow suit to Topspin, but it was part of a cancelled wave and it's nigh impossible to get. Actually, that's a bit of a lie, because you can find Leadfoot on like AliExpress. If you know where to look, then you can find him. Then you can find Soundwave as well. You just can't find Wheeljack. And he's the best one out of all of them. If anybody can hit me up with a Dark of the Moon Wheeljack Q, please. We'll have a look at his gimmickry first, because I've got it detached here. So this is his like grabber claw bowcaster thing. It's not one of my favourite mech-tech weapons that the Dark of the Moon line came with. It's black and grey, a bit bland, looks a bit weird. You pull the lever, does that. Which, I mean, this is reminiscent of what Topspin has on his arms. So it suits him, I suppose, but like with the deluxe ones, it doesn't lock in place. It'd have been nice if it did. And the fact that he's already got this kind of thing on his arms already just kind of makes it feel a little bit redundant. But hey, I suppose he likes to cosplay as Dr. Octopus in his spare time. I don't know. He can detach, attach, I should say, in various places all over him. You can see he's got all of these guns everywhere. They are removable, 5mm pegs all over, and plus, you know, you can fit this in any event, but you can also fit it, in theory, on a spot on his front there. But it is a very loose connection, and the slightest touch will send it spinning away. Looking at the figure as a whole then, it is quite an interesting design, and it's quite a cool design actually. An armoured car is quite original, and I think he looks very stylish for it. As I said earlier, primarily blue. You've got this silver metal, nice look on the front there. He's very jagged, which suits his character. Number 48 on the side there. Lowe's, that's like the branding. Autobot symbol on the back spoiler, which you can see there in greater detail. You've got translucent blue windows. In fact, the entire top half of him, I think, is made out of clear plastic. It's just all of this bit here is probably painted over. And I'm not 100% certain on that, so don't take my word as law, but it's a solid guess. As I said, you can remove these guns. They're decently sculpted, lots of detail all over them, just not painted particularly brilliantly. Just plug that back in, flip him on to the underside. You have a decent idea of what becomes what. You can see the bottoms of his feet here. His arms are trailing. Important to note, when you're transforming him back into car mode, this is how the arms want to be. A bit like Ironhide, there are indicators all along the arms to tell you what positions. So have the yellow bits facing out, and then you've got it correctly. Hips, pelvis area, you know, his chest, head is being hidden. But overall, it is a fairly cool vehicle mode. I do dig it. Now, one little gripe I have had over the years, which I've only just figured out how to fix before shooting this review, is due to the nature of all of the spiky furiousness of this vehicle mode, the front has never held together particularly well for me. There's always been a lot of gappage here and here, and consequently there's a bit of gappage at the back here, but that's not, you know, the biggest concern. But this bit here, it's never like held down properly, and I've only just discovered just before shooting this that there is a clear tab directly underneath that you're meant to really push that down into, and that clears all of this gappage up. I've had this figure since 2011. Before we move on to transformation, I'll just comment, he doesn't particularly roll brilliantly. He doesn't sit flush to the ground. The back tyres are rolling freely, but the front tyres are not, and I think it's because bits here are getting caught and stopping these from, you know, being completely flat. A little bit disappointing, but, you know, not the end of the world. Now, transformation of Topspin. It's fairly simple, all things considered, but it might look a bit complex from the outgo. So what we're going to begin with, I'll just detach the front here. I'm going to put my finger underneath the front bumper and just lift it up and push it up like that. And then you want to fold the front bumper nice and tucked under there. We're going to come to the back and we're going to split these blue bits from the back and unfold it, and this is going to just let us detach the entire side of the car, which will turn into the legs. And then we're just going to keep them folded down a wee bit. I'm just going to push these bits forward because what we're going to end up doing is rotating the waist 180 degrees. But there is a little bit of clearance issue here. You'll notice these hip pieces are going to get caught and stuck on this folded bumper. It's just a little bit of a pity. There's no good way to do it, to be honest. So there we go. That wasn't as difficult as I was making it out to be. Continuing here, we want to bring the legs down at the crotch area and just connect them together. And then we're going to... This is all kind of like independently hinged. So we're pinching all of this together and having the front lights of the car sat at a downward angle along the front of the legs. So rotate like that. Have that down like that. Just straighten everything. So it's going to look a bit like this. Come to the legs. This is my favourite bit of a transformation. We're going to take these, bend them about that far, then come with the feet, bring them down, and then continue to push all of that together. I think there was an Optimus Prime figure that shared a similar transformation like that. It might have been the Dark of the Moon Voyager, but I can't exactly remember which one. But I like it. It is a very Optimus Prime sort of leg that you've got going on here. Do the same on the other side. Just flip all that, plug it in together, and they are the legs all done. Moving to the top of the figure. Now, he does have a little bit of a backpack. It is kind of personal preference as to what you do with it. So we're going to just split all of this and hinge it all down. It's connected by a series of hinges and ball joints, etc. We'll deal with it last. We'll just have it hinged out. Come to the arms. They are not connected together, which is a little bit unfortunate. So split them, bring them back and around, rotate back like that, keeping the yellow facing forward, and rotate at the upper arm to keep the other gold bits facing forward as well. Take the head, and it's on a ball joint and a hinge and all of that, so just bring it all forward. Doesn't exactly tab from the looks of it, so just have it, you know, forward. Come to the back here. We're going to hinge this bit down, and then this is the personal preference. So what I like to do is put these at a bit of an angle, fold these bits down as well, and just try and keep it as compact as possible. Split the claws, and you are done. That is Topspin in robot mode. So Topspin's robot mode I quite dig. I think it is a very interesting and unique design. He's quite lanky, but, you know, it makes him stand out. Very nice silhouette. I like this backpack that's going on. The way that you can fold it any which way you want is very beneficial to the figure. Now, if we zoom in and get a look at that head sculpt, very interesting. Like with Roadbuster and with Leadfoot, he is rocking very humanoid features. You've kind of got a hair thing going on there. Topspin was the only one out of them not to talk in Dark of the Moon. He kind of made a reappearance in The Last Shite, but for some reason they stuck Leadfoot's head on him, and I will never forgive them for that.
What?
He has light piping, as we can see there. It's pretty good. And you can probably illuminate the windshield that is directly behind his head too. So, yeah, good on him for that. It's just a little bit of a shame painting-wise what's going on there. He has a little bit of silver on his face, but the rest of it is grey. There is a little bit of blue on the top of his head as well. I don't think it's accurate to the film. We could have spared him a little bit more deco there. But the rest of him is painted quite nicely. Well, I mean, I say that, but then I look at the arms and I think, they could deal with a little bit more blue here, there and everywhere. The tops of them have yellow and gold on. That's decent. There's similar yellow on the chest, but it is kind of this grey as well. But the legs, thankfully, are beautiful. Nice blue all over. You've got like scuff down the bottom. That's good. Gold. A little bit of red here and there. Yeah. If we rotate him round, we can see a lot of kibble. There's a lot of kibble, yeah. But at least it's accurate to how he looks. So overall, paintwork is fine. Could be improved in a few areas. But, you know, at least he's got an amazing silhouette about him. Let's experiment with some of this backpack. So the way I've got it folded at the minute is kind of nice and compressed at diagonal angles. You can move it out like that if you want to give him a bit more of a wingspan, if you like. You could maybe fold these bits here and treat them like cannons if you wanted. Because these are on ball joints and hinges, you can rotate them up like that. So if you want to give him like a gunner, like Armada Demolisher look, you could do that too. You could spin these completely around and have all the guns facing forward to give him even more of a war soldier gunner turret look. I'm trying to think of words here. So yeah, a lot of options with this, but you know, for display, nice and compact like that. Bit of an angle gives him an amazing silhouette. We have covered the MechTech weapon already, but I'll just want to show you how it looks into his arms. Just like that. I have noticed with Topspin, again, this MechTech weapon, depending on the arm you put it in, it can be quite floppy like that. So I do actually tend to put it on his left arm. Now, this might just be my copy, you know, being like this. I don't know of any other Topspins out there that have this same issue. But yeah, it suits his robot mode a lot better than it does his car mode. I wouldn't ever display him in car mode with this on the top of the vehicle because it does look a bit daft. But hey, it suits his robot mode decently enough. In terms of articulation then, Topspin has a ball jointed head, so he can do 360 degrees of rotation. He can look up an impressive amount, except it seems to just slap back into neutral position. So that's a little bit disappointing, actually. In theory, he can look up an amazing amount. He can look down an amazing amount without any hindrance. So that's good. We've discussed the backpack. You can do loads of crazy stuff with him. You can, in theory, rotate the arms at the shoulders 360, but they do get caught with all of this. You can spread them out that far. That's good. Mushroom peg at the very up of the arm, 360 degrees of rotation. 90-degree bend, and then you do have these grabber claws which are on pins and they can open and close just like that. At the waist, he does have rotation. Again, it is hindered by the backpack, so you can go that far and that far, but if all of that back scuff wasn't there, then you would have 360 degrees of rotation. Very nice. Forward kick that far. Back kick that far. He does have a decent spread. At the knee, you have like double jointed knees. So he's got 90 degrees, and then if you utilize the rest of the hinge, then over 90 degrees. So very impressive there. Then at the foot, he is they're on ball joints, so you've got a full range of motion there, lots of tiltage, lots of swivel, up and down, everything that you could want in a leg. Very, very good. Overall articulation for Topspin is actually quite impressive. It is just a little bit hindered by all of the kibble that he's got. For a size comparison, here is Topspin with his fellow wrecker, Roadbuster. Here he is with Dark of the Moon Jolt. Here he is with Studio Series Dino. Here he is with Prime RID Wheeljack, who is also a wrecker. And for consistency's sake, here he is with Mysterio. So there we have it. That is our look at the Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Topspin. I think it is a very good figure, all things considered. Yes, there is a lot of kibble on him, which restricts some of the movement that he's capable of, but he's a very well detailed figure, very well articulated figure, and just overall a very nice time. I've not seen the Studio Series version of him in person, but even then, I think it is unanimous that the Dark of the Moon variant here is the superior figure. He's just classy and stylish and armed to the teeth, full of weapons, and I love it. Yes, there could be a few improvements made to the paintwork in robot mode, but you can't deny that the vehicle mode looks amazing. And from what we've seen in this video, you know, he's just cool. He's so cool, and I definitely recommend getting this Topspin figure if you want to complete a Wrecker troupe in your collection. Definitely get Topspin. So much fun. Thank you everybody so much for stopping by and checking out this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share it around to help out the channel. And until the next time, see you all later.